Good morning to our classmates, teachers, and principal. We are third semester and we are going to presentate our final project. The final objective in this investigation work is to perform a study about the technological management of the PYMES of Mexico, with the final purpose of obtaining knowledge of the actual situation and integrating the components of the economic knowledge to technological management. Taking as an example of study the pyme called Gallo de Oro, that it's a restaurant and belongs to the third sector. For the field research, it was taken as an example the sector already mentioned and applied different questionnaires to determine the technological management inside the pyme, using the activities of the strategic models of technological management and also realizing comparisons with the author's studies and diverse analyzed organizations. What is the work about? The present work of investigation was based in realizing a study of technological management of the Mexico PYMES with the objective to know the actual situation and integrated components of technological management, where we take a case of example the restaurant Gallo de Oro that belongs to the third sector. How we did the work? To realize the investigation, it will apply different questionnaires. With them we determine the technological management of restaurant comparing the years before with the present. Where we did the work was done taking a case of the restaurant Gallo de Oro, which is located on the Federal Highway Mexico-Cuernavaca, Violet Corner 1A, same that counts with familiar atmosphere and Mexican food. Why? We picked the restaurant Gallo de Oro because it meets the necessary requirements of technological management. Besides, it's a pyme that has been in development for more than 10 years, adding to the fact that the implementation of technology began 3 years ago. The development that a country has is always dictated by the administration and technological innovation. Especially Mexico in the last 10 years has had increase on that, due to the fact that this expenditure also helps to facilitate the process and also increase the production of the country. In the organization, the innovation is substantial of the objective and goals of different strategic design plans, which should be clearly defined and directed by the impulse of organization changes that are located in highly demanding environments. These changes can be arranged in the structure, process, product, system, technology, between other factors that are considered important in different organizations. They can be partial or radical, and they can be used as new models in order to conceive different routines, process, and activities. Or how the continuous improvement, which gradual forms, has had allowed to enhance the process, products, and ideas, making an impact that has provable advantages in the subject of social environment ambits, with the end goals to restructure the organization, starting with the application of different gathered knowledge of the different processes that are daily developed. To Mexico, the pymes represent a growing sector due to the contribution they make in the matter of production, representing around the 32% of the PIB. The economic importance seems obvious if you see the percentages. However, due to the fact they are an economic sector which is dispersed and diversified, it persists a high volatility in the creation and growth of the companies. According to Adeco's data 2016, the odds of success of the local market are around 25% and 30% below the world average, which is 40%. In the fields of innovation and investigation and technological development, the pymes are being affected due to the fact that many times the company doesn't have enough resources in order to develop different projects, which are fundamental for the technological management missions. What is the industrial and technological development, in which is required the plantation and administration with technology that is required? Besides the development of the product and necessary products in order to make the company competitive in the global market and to satisfy the customers. The Latin American pymes have already realized many technological management in order to attend to the different demands that technological resources require, in order to have incomes and stay competitive in the market. There is no functional structure and there is no development of technological management, beside the lack of specific budgets. of these activities. The resources and capabilities are considered value generators, but in the case of Latin America, they are more oriented in the subject of problem resolutions rather than the creation of opportunities.
Before and now. An example of technology within the restaurant are commands. They were sheets of paper on which the manager wrote down the dishes and drinks ordered by the tables with which there was a high probability of errors. They took too long to take notes, and as a result, it took longer to reach the order to the corresponding tables. It was also difficult to comply the specifications required by customers. On the other hand, there was no adequate control in the inventory of existing products. Currently, orders are handled differently, since they are carried out through a software that allows us to manage, control, and be more efficient when taking orders, because the time is optimized from the taking of the order to the delivery. On the other hand, there is more productivity since they cover a greater number of tables by taking orders more quickly. It is also easier to have greater precision with the orders and have the opportunity to comply with each specification of the food. Waiting time is reduced since customers are served from the moment they enter the restaurant. In addition, there is a better control of the availability of products, food, and beverages. Points of sale refers to the cash register in which the only possible form of payment was with cash, so there was a risk of receiving fake money or because of the lack of liquidity. The customers will not choose the restaurant option. Currently, there is the option to make payments online, either through bank terminals or transfers. In this way, you have money and you can pay more safely and effectively. By having more forms of payment, a bigger market can be reached, and with the COVID situation, the least possible contact is made. Air conditioning. It was believed a few years ago that only with cross ventilation, which consists of air circulation through the permanence of open windows and doors, the ventilation of the restaurant was adequate. Currently, after the COVID-19 pandemic, it has adequate capacity for space. A certified company carried out an assessment to contemplate the meters, the number of people inside the restaurant. After this, it was considered that the most appropriate option was the mechanical ventilation system, which provides air from the outside to prevent the concentration of pollutants and from exceeding the values established by the regulations. Security cameras. Years ago, security people were enough in the restaurant, who are responsible for the surveillance and protection of assets. They also avoided criminal acts or administrative infractions in relation to areas of protection. Today, security cameras have become indispensable electronic devices. This is because thanks to them promotes an environment of trust and better security for both customers and for the company itself. Its main function in restaurants is to monitor inside and outside the facilities in order to guarantee quality, control, and greater safety. So cameras were implemented to monitor all kitchen operations for cash register and also both outside and inside the restaurant.
2020 has been one of the most difficult years for the restaurant industry at a global level. However, this year has also reminded us that technology has been there to support the restaurants even during difficult times, offering new alternatives to overcome the change and innovating the service. Thanks to the technology implemented in the restaurant Gallo de Oro, it was possible to cope with the difficult situation that was experienced during the COVID-19 pandemic. As we can see, in a matter of months, the use of technology has been magnified, and this leaves us as a teaching that is necessary to be prepared to adapt and enter the competition. It's necessary to listen to the audience, the needs they have, and how it's possible to meet them by looking for optimal solutions, either by using technology, improving the protocols, or even changing them for new protocols that better respond to the content of dinners. Obtaining digital skills and observing the needs and intentions of our dinners can be the starting point to find the success behind this pandemic. The authorization to work in the restaurant. On Friday, September 9 of this year, a visit was made to the restaurant Gallo de Oro, giving delivery of a letter of authorization to do our project. We met the manager who gave us authorization to start the investigation of how they carry out technology in the restaurant. Subsequently, other teams visit the place, this with the aim of learning how about technology is carried out in the restaurant and how it has evolved over the time that the company has been founded. Technological management in the restaurant industry. What makes a restaurant distinctive is that this type of business belongs to an unstable business sector that is constantly suffering uncertainty over the demands of the clients and available resources. This orienting their strategies towards their client demands and setting their available resources in order to set for technological developments, with the objective to be able to adapt to hostile environments where the technology is a substantial factor in the business operations. For example, the nourishment elaboration, the digital competence, and the introduction of sophisticated softwares, which helps to support different services. In this kind of companies, the use of technology goes from providing minimal services like internet and office packages to more demanding services like providing data systems, management softwares, assistancy, and time systems that serves the specific purpose of finding new forms of nourishment preparations. So in consequence, the operators are gathering and using diverse technology in order to control their activities in a simpler and efficient way and redirect their efforts in publicity, standing out the effectivity of the technology. On the other hand, the technology are also applied to manage the incomes, helping to maximize the incomes, the optimal times of service. Knowing all this, we can implement the technology to increase the incomes, improving the services and improving also the quality of the food. Having done all that, we can reduce the production and services time, besides reducing the money losses. Secondly, this will reduce the losses from damage and unverified inventory. The technologies that are used to interact with the client, for example, online reservations and interactive menu, can extend the restaurant competitive advantage because this can improve the communication and planning of the service. Another technology associated with the client are through digital platforms, which purpose is to understand the market niche and to report about the existence and nature of different services to the clients. Besides, it has been proven that technology can harvest data from the clients in order to personalize different services. Some specific restaurant industry applications have included payment systems, building intelligence, customer loyalty data, inventory management data, asset management, and reservoir system. Some studies have said that half of the diners just prefers paying with their intelligent devices due to the sense of safety and comfort, because the devices are capable of making transactions with their credit or debit cards information without the need to write down their information. As a matter of fact, the 25% of the customers pays with their mobile devices, validating the point of the existence of new paying systems. Another recently technology is the NFC, which purpose is to scan and retrieve debit data. The restaurant in question has acquired the EPO software, which functions are management, order, classification, commands, and the inventory of the restaurant. This software has helped to keep in order the administration and management of the restaurant.
The finance administration is supported by the balance of profitability and risk, the politics, decisions, and joint actions. If the restaurant has these characteristics, the objectives will be clearer, such as maximize the stockholders' equity and the business worth in the long term, pay the workers a better salary, know the customer's purchasing power, and to make the supplies purchase. The technology is a huge support for this business because the financial administration is easier thanks to the aid that the software provides. In order to carry out this project, we did different surveys to englobe the signatures of our career international commercial relationships. For the business finance assignment, we did a financial study to get to know the place's incomes. In this, we didn't sink in with cost, we just needed to know if the restaurant has income and utilities. Finally, we conclude that the financial administration is essential and we have to consider it for optimal management for the restaurant development, so in that way we have favorable conditions. In this assignment, we made a market study to compare the technology implemented in the SMEs and how they have benefited Mexico. Graphs and studies were taken as a basis, and we got the following conclusions. Currently, in 2022, Mexico counts with almost 4.2 million SMEs, according to the survey made by the INEGI. These 4.2 million SMEs contribute to the 42% of the gross domestic product and generates 78% of the national employment. Mexico is an attractive country for the new entrepreneurs that searches for markets that generates a local economic impact and allows an international commercial exchange through its free commerce trades and alliances with other countries. Through time, the small and medium businesses have increased. With this, the market has also increased, having more bidders and more applicants, so it starts to exist a perfect competition. The SMEs have to stay in constant innovation and technological development to achieve efficiency, because if not, they can be affected for not counting with the necessary resources. Many variables can determine the SME's situation, like the job generator, the obtaining of financing, or the activities for innovation and technology management. For efficient technology management, the business needs to consider all the aspects related to the opportunities and threats of their technological positions, the ability to acquire and develop technological sources, and the ability to assimilate the technologies that incorporate into their processes and learn from its own experience. In the practice, the SMEs set many patterns of technological management. SMEs constitute a nucleus of growth and potential development of great importance, generating jobs in socially weak sectors, being a possibility of reduction of the economic power concentration. Although the importance SMEs represent, their technological management is not competitive, which has hindered their competitiveness. The technology is a fundamental source for those SMEs that are in process of growth, and is a source with which they can achieve optimization and improvement of the production process, organization, sales and collection, training, etc. The technology can help businesses to win effectiveness and improve a good part of their internal processes, with special attention to a software for human resources. The technological management is in charge to support the decision-making in the different levels that implicate the creation and use of activities and technological ability, so as the impact that this can have over the organization, the human capital and the society or nature, also of getting in charge of the cons and pros that they bring with them for the economic perspective, social and environmental of technological innovation. Innovation is a competition between businesses that can open more opportunities for competition that will determine the strategies.
Law. In this assignment, we use the base question: how the technologies can support small business? As a result, we know that technology is bound to innovation and progress. So, now we can note that the success of a business, especially from SME, in the tertiary sector is decided by a directly proportional relation to the capital that is invested on the business. The bigger is the investment on a technology tool of high quality that reduces the cost and production times, the bigger will be the probabilities that the company increases its rivalities from the customers, and consequently the increases of their net income. Statics. For this signature, we analyze the software that the restaurant uses to see if the technology really benefited the administration and the collection of data. So we conclude that everything is managed in a simpler and easier way, since the software and point of sale of the restaurant helps generating the accounts in an easier and more efficient way. In the same way, we study how SMEs benefit the Mexican economy in percentages. Data that we obtain from web pages, and they all lead to the same conclusion. Technology is always the best tool to manage a business in the best possible way.
32% of the PIB in Mexico is conformed by the PYMES. However, this percentage has significantly decreased due to the pandemic. During this time, the development of the PYMES were stalled during the whole year. This event made it necessary to look for new alternatives, innovating the technologies in order to get ahead and stand out between the other PYMES that had suffered the same repercussions. Many companies have found themselves in a close competitive market, and only few of them are outstanding, but the ones that have achieved this are the ones who have known to apply the technology, making this the remarkable factor. Another factor that has prevented the growing of the PYMES is that in certain cases the implementation of technology is expensive. Besides governmentally, there is few support and incentives in order to make the majority count of these advances. The competition between the companies makes possible the innovation, and this is because the free trade opens diverse opportunities and determines the strategy to follow in order to ease each job. Through this project, we have determined that the technology is and has been a fundamental resource to those PYMEs which are in the process of growing, due to the fact that this is a tool that can help to achieve an improvement in the different process of production, organization, dispatch, sales, and collection. Having said that, the technological management is one in charge to support the decisions making one of the different levels which are involved in the creation and asset utilization and capacity, so it has to have a constant maintenance and updates according the advances of day to day. Previously, we mentioned the existence of determinant technologies, many of them helping the companies in their administration. One of the great importance is the inventory management software. That is what Gallo de Oro has been regularly using over the last 10 years, becoming an important factor in these last 3 years. Thanks to this, it has been possible to regulate the entry and exit to raw material that has been required for the preparation and commercialization of the product. Without the use of this innovation, the process can take much more time. An important part that has to be emphasized are the cost of the production and the control that Gallo de Oro has partake over them, relying on certain softwares, for example, Aspel Koi, Aspel Sai, Aspel Noi, Aspel Fraud, between others. Some of these are used for the register of cash closers, inventory control, staff training, and carry bank accounts. Having told these the aspects, we know that Gallo de Oro has an optimal development in this matter of finances and administration thanks to the use of the technology. Finally, we have determined that the international relation and business career has bring us the basis and knowledge to carry on this project. Besides, we have acquired more during the process. This is because some of the objectives in the mastery of technological tools, finances, we can also see in the investigation the birth of new markets. Another aspect related with the bachelor's degree are the promotion of products and services, planning and development of operational strategies in marketing negotiation, supply operation, inventory management, commercial relationships, the development of different models with the objective to improve the competitiveness between companies, business development and business in marketing, consultant in various areas, and market research. In conclusion, with our project from International Commercial Relationships, we would like to thank our advisors, Ms. Camila Caspis from the Statistics Descriptive Signature, Pablo Romero Perez from the Microeconomics Signature, Samuel Álvarez Garcia from the Law Signature, Ernesto Pérez Mendía from the Market and Structure Analysis, Eva del Valle Córdoba from Business Finance Signature, and last but not least, our career principal, Ms. Janina Simpieri Laguna. Thank you all for giving us all your support, motivation, and knowledge, and for sharing your experiences with us. Similarly, for all your time, dedication, and patience, and showing us the process, and for have guided us step by step on the realization of our project. Same as without you, it couldn't be possible to introduce it. Similarly, we'd like to give a deep and special gratitude to the restaurant El Gallo de Oro for boarding us in their installations and for being highly participatory and comprehensive in the obtention of all the necessary information and data compiled through these hard work months and dedication for our final project realization, the technology in PYMES of Mexico.